Michelle keeps coming through to this bedroom to do her knitting, and in the classic Asylum style, as she's sitting there knitting, Andy is just sitting watching her, and now he's just talking to himself. Not even to her, he's just talking to himself. And this is in itself quite a strange scene, but weirdly, this is one of the more normal things to be happening in the asylum. Another day in the asylum, and Michelle is working towards the third milestone of her aspiration. She has already reached level 6 of the knitting skill, but she has 3 other things to do. She has to knit 10 excellent items, she has to successfully show off a sweater that she has knitted, and she has to successfully gift 3 knitted items. Michelle's inventory is absolutely full of knitted items, because for the last milestone of her aspiration, she had to sell something on Plopsy, and that took so long, she's ended up with an abundance of lovely panda beanies. However, progress is still slow. And as progress is slow, because Michelle is taking a long time to produce something that's actually of excellent quality, in the meantime she can at least don one of the lovely knitted sweaters that she's made. And there we have it. Stunning. A knitted sweater that is the same shade of lovely cheesy yellow as Michelle's hair. And as spirits in the asylum seem to be unusually quite good, let's see if Michelle can successfully show off her lovely knitted sweater. Her first interaction options are apologise, which is not a good sign, but that tends to be how it is with everyone in the asylum. And Elgers gives Michelle a round of applause and approves of the sweater, checking off that part of her aspiration. And for some reason, seeing Michelle in her sweater has made Elgers flirty, but let's not look into that part too much. Since she is having a positive conversation with Elgers, Michelle decided to try her luck by gifting him one of the less terrible panda beanies that she had knitted. And Elgers got excited about it and accepted it, which meant Michelle just needed to successfully gift 2 more of her lovely panda beanies to check off another part of this milestone of her aspiration. As Michelle had a reasonable relationship with Andy, he seemed like a safe bet to gift one of her beanies to. And Andy, despite being kinda miserable most of the time, was actually quite excited and happy to receive the gift. That meant there was just 1 more that Michelle would need to gift in order to check off this part of her aspiration. Looking through her inventory, she didn't have any particularly fantastic beanies, but she did have one of these not so great ones. And so Michelle set out to gift a beanie to Susan. Susan wasn't particularly an easy person to please. However, Michelle and Susan were allegedly friends, so doing so should be a safe bet. And Susan actually accepted the gift in good humour, allowing Michelle to check off that part of her aspiration. That was now 3 out of the 4 steps of this milestone completed. Unfortunately, the 4th one is that Michelle has to knit 10 excellent items, and so far that's proved a little difficult for her. And despite a good amount of time spent sitting knitting in the rocking chair next to the inspiring piano, Michelle still hadn't managed to knit any more than just 1 item to excellent quality. After a little more effort and a lot more time, Michelle managed to reach 3 items knitted to excellent quality. Unfortunately, that was 3 out of 10, and unfortunately along the way, she had produced quite a few of those lovely pink beanies that were worth absolutely nothing. Knitting exactly the same thing all day, every day, really ought to have made Michelle better at it. At this point, with her knitting skill being at the level that it was, she really ought to have been producing items of higher quality. But doing the same thing to the same standard, day in, day out, and somehow expecting that to be worthy of praise, approval, or somehow lead to advancement in life is kind of the type of person and kind of the sort of thing that we expect from Michelle. Although this time, at least, it appears Michelle has managed to produce one more thing of excellent quality, taking her to 4 out of 10. After a lot more time, and I do mean a lot more time knitting, Michelle finally managed to make 5 out of 10 excellent items. But it took her so long to get there that in the process, she actually maxed her knitting skill. At least that gave her a head start for the next milestone of her aspiration. And as Michelle is taking just an unbelievably long time to get those 10 items knitted to excellent quality, I think we'll end her story there for today. Join us next time as she finally does manage to knit 10 excellent items and completes this milestone of her aspiration and moves on to the next milestone. And maybe, just maybe, she'll put in enough effort that she can actually complete her aspiration entirely and leave the asylum. We can but hope. Thanks for watching. Michelle is not having a good time, and having a shower didn't help her de-stress, and I can't get her to knit while she's tense, and Elgers has stolen her chair anyway, and the radio's broken, and now Susan's joined the fray, which isn't going to help anything, and now she's getting a prank phone call. You don't know me, but I saw you from afar and asked a mutual friend for your number. Michelle has a secret admirer. Michelle's been getting a lot of sort of positive romantic attention, and it's not that I'm saying that she's not worthy of it, but this is someone who has been wandering around the asylum enjoying the smell of her own farts. Something is definitely amiss in the world of The Sims.